All right, so nicotine gum, okay. Now, here's another thing I'm doing that I have not done before, is I have never made this soup. I don't know if it's going to turn out good. I found the recipe in Gourmet magazine. Pretty fancy. It's a minestrone soup. It's a winter soup. It's got a lot of interesting ingredients in it, but the most interesting thing about it is you don't use a broth. You caramelize the vegetables so they create a savory broth in and of themselves. And we're going to use pancetta, which is a meat, a cured meat. I'll look it up in a second. But one of the other, better. So first, we need 3 red onions, 4 stalks of celery, 2 medium carrots, chopped. Now, I'm just using this, what is this, a Seder plate? I'm using it as an example, so I don't want to deny you any prep time. Where's my peeler? I just had the peeler. Oh, here it is. Now, I got to be honest with you. Get yourself a good peeler. You see this, like the kind that you could just get at the supermarket? It's bullshit, because look what it does. It's like you peel, here I go, peeling the carrot, peeling it down, and you know what's bad about this peeler? Half the carrot's gone. It's all in the sink. All right, so we're chopping the carrot, which means this is how I do it. Cut it down the center, cut it down this side, cut it down like that, maybe cut it again, so you got like that, and then you go, you know what? I'm not a great cook, but I have found that the only difference between someone who can cook and someone who can't cook is their ability to visualize what's at the end. And you know why I cook? You know why I'm a compulsive cooker? Because when I visualize what's at the end, it's a whole thing. In my head, it's almost like global unity. It's like yin and yang. It's like when I do this, I'm moving towards something in my head that makes sense and I can stick in my mouth. Now, I used to cook a lot for my wife because it was one of the only sort of genuinely nice gestures that I could muster. Not that I wasn't nice to her, it was just, it's a nice thing to do for people, especially if you're an asshole or you have anger problems. Because if you have anger problems, at least you can cook. You know what I mean? You're like, I'm sorry I yelled at you, honey. Here's a pie. But you know what she actually said to me, though, towards the end of everything? She actually said, the fucking bitch. She actually said, you just thought if you just kept cooking. Yes, I did think that. How bad can things be when you have a cake? How bad can things be when you're like, oh, you're home? How about some spaghetti? How about some spelt pancakes? God damn it. But you know what? It isn't enough. It just wasn't enough. 3 medium onions. This is how I cut onions, like that. I'm sure you know these tricks. You've watched Emerald, or maybe you've pictured the people that work for Emerald thinking that they're going to be chefs one day who just got out of culinary school and maybe instead of being like a sous chef at a fancy restaurant somewhere, they're like, I'm going to get a job on Emerald show. Bam! Where's my new job, Emerald? Bam! When do I open up my own restaurant, Emerald? Bam! How come you don't give me any credit for chopping your bullshit, Emerald? And then there's, of course, I'm probably better than Emerald. You know, screw Emerald. I got better ideas without the bam. All right. So, man, there's a lot of stuff in this. Pancetta. Look at that. Rolled pig. It's a type of dry cured meat. It is pork belly. Pancetta can be rolled or straight. Recipes such as almetricriana, which I make, often contain pancetta as a substitute for guanciale. We're going to make that next. Guanciale is a cured pig jowl that's only used in that one bucatini recipe that I used to cook for this girl I used to go out with, who I don't go out with anymore because she saw me on Marin v. Cedar once and said, you know, when you talk about your ex-wife, it hurts me. And I said, well, I'm preparing a one-person show about my divorce. She said, well, I encourage that. I said, well, how is that going to work out if it hurts you? And then that was the end of it. We broke up, and apparently I did it wrong. I broke up with her on an email. Is that wrong?
It's probably not the best.
What are you supposed to do? Isn't that why we have those things, to not engage and perhaps go back on what we plan to do? Isn't that detachment part of the modern world? She broke up with me on a text. I mean, I don't know.
Wait, she broke up with you before?
Yeah, with a text.
Oh, well.
So I thought there was a precedent set. No?
Well, if anything, an email was probably a little bit more personal than a text.
Yeah, so I win. I was right. You know what? I should probably call her and break up with her again in person.